Hey everyone, Patrick here from Twist and Shout. Just wanted to do a quick rundown. We've gotten almost all of our Record Store Day stuff in. And I just wanted to show you a few of the cool items we got into, some of the stuff that I love personally, and some things that people have been asking a lot about. I'm gonna start with the big heavy ones and get them out of the way. First of all, as you know, we are your center for all things Dead related. We got Grateful Dead box, we got the Grateful Dead single LP as well, although we were heavily allocated on that. And we got the Jerry Garcia box. These, as usual, will be at the service counter at the back of the store. I know many of you will be here for that. All right. We also, in big box set territory, got the complete studio recordings of the Blasters. They're 4 LPs reissued on vinyl with a 5th LP of rarities and outtakes. Classic American rock band, one of the greats of all time, or at least of the 80s. You're going to want to pick this up if you're a fan of the band, because they are great. And if you're not a fan of the band, you need to get on that. All right. We've got a couple tiny things here. Little 7-inch singles. One from Charlie XCX featuring special guest Billie Eilish. And then, of course, Taylor Swift. You may have heard of both of them. These are going to be big for us. We got a good amount of both, but these are going to be super popular items for us. They will be gone by the end of the day, so make sure you're coming down on Record Store Day for these if you are interested in them. All right, let's move on to some other items. Couple cool picture discs from some greats from the 80s. Cure, Head on the Door, one of their best albums of the earlier era. And then the B-52's debut, their classic, their best album, unquestionably. If anyone questions it, they can ask me about it later. But I think pretty much everyone agrees on that one, that that's their great album. And both of these we got a good amount of on picture disc vinyl. So what else do we got here? Camper Van Beethoven's debut album, Telephone Free Landslide Victory. One of the progenitors of kind of snotty post-punk college rock. They do kind of, international flair. They have a song on here called, well, the first song is called Border Ska, but this one features their classic Take the Skinheads Bowling, which is one of the greats of 80s college rock. Again, if you haven't heard that, this is a great one to pick up if you're not hip to Camper Van, and if you are, it's been out of print on vinyl for a long time, so this is a nice treat to have it available again. All right, this is something brand new that's never been out before. It's coming out on Record Store Day. The Kings of America live at Royal Albert Hall 1987. Elvis Costello's tour following his terrific 1986 album, King of America, playing mostly material from that with the band on that record, not the Attractions. It's one of his best albums of his Columbia period, and this should be a great live one. Haven't heard it yet, not opened, but I'll be picking this one up for sure. All right, here's one I'm super excited about. K. Frimpong and his Cubano Fiestas. He has 2 albums called K. Frimpong and his Cubano Fiestas, the one with the black cover and the one with the blue cover. This is the blue cover, obviously, and surprisingly, this is the better of the 2. So anyone who is a fan of Afrobeat, danceable African music from the 70s, this is a motherlode. This is a great album. You're gonna love it. All right. Joni Mitchell, 3 record set, live 1976. This is right on the heels of Hejira and features a lot of material from that. Triple live album, should be a winner. Lots of people are going to be interested in this. Grab yours if you need it. All right, here's another one. We've had a lot of buzz over, MJ Lenderman Live. We got pretty heavily allocated on this as well. These are going to be gone pretty early. If you need yours, you better be near the front of that line because they will disappear fast. So, all right, another one. Thelonious Monk Live at the It Club, 1964 live date that was originally issued on CD posthumously in the late 90s. First time on vinyl. The material has been out there before, but not in this full collection as it was on the CD with everything together. So this is a nice treat. Monk, you can't go wrong with any era of his music, and this is a particularly nice set. Well worth your time. All right, we're getting into Patrick's silly territory a little bit here. The Over the Edge soundtrack. If you've never seen this movie, this is a classic. Early Matt Dillon, movie shot almost exclusively in Aurora, Colorado in 1982. Movie was released in 83, I believe. And it's, you know, ennui-ridden teens trying to find something to do in the town. It's a great soundtrack. Cheap Trick, The Cars, The Ramones, Van Halen, bunch of great music on it. It's a great movie, and if you're not hip to this, you really should be. This was shot in new housing developments that were being built in the 80s in Aurora, and it looks like a desolate suburban wasteland, and that's what it is. So anyway, moving on. All right, can't really see the cover on this, but this is Lou Reed's classic 1975 album Metal Machine Music, called The Greatest Record Ever Made in the History of the Human Eardrum by Lester Bangs. Who should know? It was immediately cut out by RCA. It has the, I believe, honor of being the most returned record in the history of the music industry, because Lou decided to make 4 sides of shrieking feedback and noise after he had a big hit record. And this was his answer to how to respond to having a career. It's better than Suicide, as other people went, but it's audibly, maybe not far. Great album, in and out of print, but it's not for everyone, but it's for me, for sure. All right. Proto-punk band Rocket from the Tombs, not Rocket from the Crypt. This is the band that features members of Perubu and the Dead Boys before they split into those 2 respective bands. Great Ohio proto-punk from 74, maybe 5. Features songs like Sonic Reducer that got remade by them, Perubu's Final Solution. They've got a Velvet Underground cover on here, a couple Stooges covers on here. It's a great record. A little raw. It's demos. They never really got into a studio and recorded, and the band split up before they could really get anything done formally. But it's a really nice set, and anyone who's a fan of that era of punk rock, the kind of stuff that Lester Bangs always writes about, should get on this record for sure. All right, here's another little magical 80s artifact, the Rock-afire Explosion. If I need to tell you who they are, you probably don't need this, but this was the house band at Showbiz Pizza, and they had a weird little animatronic performance which had a soundtrack, which is now out on vinyl for you again instead of some cheap flexi disc or something. But it says Original Dreams, Songs from Showbiz. I'm not entirely clear if these are songs that were taken from tapes then, or someone took the idea of the Rock-afire Explosion and decided to expand this into a record for Record Store Day, but it has a nice die-cut cover. It's a really lovely piece, and I'm very interested. All right. Once again, we turn to the 80s with the Replacements, Tim. This record has been out of print a while on vinyl. There was a very expensive box set that came out a while back, and now we get just the record and the remix that was the focal point of that box set on one package. We got a good number of these, but I think it's going to be a popular item because we sold out of that box set, and those are going for a lot of money right now out of print. This gives you the essentials, and it's one of their best albums to boot. All right, a couple more. Let's save one for last and skip over to Wire. 9 7s, i.e. 9 7-inch singles sprayed across 2 LPs. This is all from their classic early period, songs from the era of Pink Flag, Chairs Missing, 154. So pretty much the albums that most people dote on with this band, and it's a great set of stuff, including things like I Am the Fly, 12XU, a lot of great things. They don't have enough out on vinyl as far as I'm concerned that's consistently in print, so it's really good to have this out there as well. And then last but certainly not least, I would have passed on this had someone not passed away this week, but the soundtrack to the 1984 Abraham Zucker film Top Secret, starring one Val Kilmer as an Elvis-styled singer who stumbles into an espionage plot, but in a really stupid way, like Airplane was stupid. But It's delightful. Kilmer, R.I.P., performs half the songs. The second half is all score, but the songs are taken from the film and very entertaining, as is the film if you're into that style of humor. If it's not your style, I get that too, but I would give it a watch for sure. Cow in boots, a good image to end on here. Thanks for paying attention. I'll see you on Saturday. Again, we open 8 a.m. Have fun.